What is up, everybody, and welcome into the pregame lounge presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR. Sign up, put it on your phone right now. We'll give you some winners. Big winner. I think I won I can't say the exact amount.
Put it in units. How many units did you win?
It would require math. That's how many units it was. It was 12 units.
It was in the positives, though. Well in the positives.
It was well in the positives, man. We had a good one. So hopefully we have a repeat performance of that. I'm sure Deb would never leave you astray.
Never, actually, ever. I'm just here to make everybody money and to be happy.
That's actually, why you're on the show.
That's it.
And then, of course, the man with the wind in his hair joining us.
What's up, guys? 3 more games to the All-Star break.
3 more games.
Let's finish strong.
3-0.
Let's finish strong. Let's have a strong end to the first half.
It's so funny how 3-0 really would be like. Yeah. If they win all 3 games, you'd be like, it's not a bad first half of the season.
Maybe the only good thing about the structure of this season is that the All-Star break is at the exact 50% mark of the season.
Yeah.
You know how it's always at the 2/3 mark?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's halfway, but it's not even close to halfway. Now we're almost exactly at the halfway point.
And it feels like it, man. I said this on Lockdown the other day. I'm ready for a week off of the Nuggets, and not because I don't love the Nuggets. It's just that this has been a sprint, man.
For sure,
it's a real sprint. I need a quick breather.
Remember the bubble when it was just every other day?
Oh my god,
it's pretty much been every other day
for 3 months.
For 3 months,
and it's gonna be every other day for the next 3 months after that. So there's no end game. It's really just a break, and we're back at it.
Yeah. I think we might have just added a 4th member of the show here. I can't. Did he?
Who's that?
Oh wait, he went to the bar. He doesn't even want to join. Oh, you're waiting for a glorious and joining us from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Drum roll, please.
It's D-Line Coach.
What's up, guys? Nice intro.
There it is.
Finally, that intro befitting
Where'd you
my
get the
presence.
short sleeve?
I ordered it.
That was one of the options, actually.
Oh, it was? I thought it was only long sleeve.
Where do you get the shirts?
Hey. You're the ad guy. Well, you can go to Jokic4MVP.com.
Yeah.
It's a fundraiser that one of our loyal listeners I've actually met this guy a while back, is doing for the Colorado Hawks.
Yeah. With the Colorado Hawks, the youth basketball program here in Denver. We figured we'd get on board. So Jokic4MVP.com.
You allow the proceeds go towards the Colorado Hawks and sponsors like an AAU club. Allows maybe some guys that can't afford it. You guys don't know this AAU; it's expensive. You got to travel around the country to be seen and play all these games. So
they say no. They say no one is rejected because of money.
Right.
So it's a really good cause, and you help fuel the next generation of beautiful basketball players that all watch Nikola Jokic and then model their game after him.
I like that.
Couldn't be better.
These are nice quality shirts too.
They actually did.
Really
I was saying that
soft.
before. This is a tri-blend shirt, which is
this is your corner. So I'll just
not itchy.
Yield the
no,
floor
it's
to
not
you.
itchy, but they don't shrink and they're super soft.
All right, so we got to get in. We had a lot to get to tonight. Game notes. Well, first up, RJ Hampton out. We got the news yesterday.
Yeah. So RJ Hampton out. Health and safety protocols. Contact tracing within the Nuggets also led to 2 other guys being out tonight.
Who?
Marcus Howard and Facu Campazzo.
Oh, right. Facu as well, yep.
So I don't anticipate those 2 guys or RJ Hampton playing for the rest of this first half of the season.
Right.
So it could have been worse, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Facu's obviously been a huge piece over the last several weeks with Gary and with PJ Dozier out. But it could have been worse. So, and again, Denver only has to get through 3 games, I would think, without those guys. Also, Michael Malone said before the game that he does not expect Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, or JaMychal Green to play before the All-Star break.
So what you got, Nuggets?
Yeah.
How many guys?
This
10?
is the team.
11?
I think 11. I'll have to double check on that.
That includes Greg?
That does include Greg.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think any real big surprise there. But, yeah, no Paul, no Gary, no JaMychal for these next 3 games. Hopefully they'll have him back after the All-Star break. PJ Dozier is back, of course, and
right into the lineup. You got 30 minutes. Here you go.
I mean, I don't think he's on really any huge restriction, but I think he'll be playing a ton tonight, particularly against Zach LaVine. Malone said before the game he's a really important piece who impacts the game in so many ways. He can play 1, 2, 3, and 4 on some nights. So I would expect a big role for PJ Dozier here.
So you look at Dozier. I mean, you've got Jamal Murray, Monte Morris, Will Barton, PJ Dozier. That's your guard rotation. If any of those guys can't play for whatever reason, you don't have another option. Greg Winnington, Michael Porter Jr. would be the next most, or Bol, I guess.
Dude,
but Bol at the 2. I mean, that's.
I can't believe we're going to get forced Greg Whittington minutes. It's going to be incredible.
So the headline today is Michael Porter Jr. a power forward? We might ask, is he a shooting guard?
Yeah, this situation makes it tough for anybody to know what position they are. It's kind of like when they were forced in the bubble to have the super tall lineup, and nothing actually worked out with that. It was just kind of like let's see what we have here. The best part is, I mean, you're playing against the Bulls with this type of lineup, so it makes it a bit more fun that you get maybe forced Greg Whittington minutes or Bol. So that makes it great in that situation.
Do we have a starting lineup?
I do not see a starting lineup yet. I would assume it's the same one that Denver's been rolling with, the Monte Morris, Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Michael Porter, Jokic lineup.
Well, it's interesting because if Monte Morris starts, does that mean PJ Dozier becomes the lead point? It's weird. We haven't seen PJ Dozier play point guard.
I see it right now. That is the regular starting lineup. That is the
we haven't seen PJ Dozier play the point guard role. He's played the combo alongside another point guard, so maybe he actually will command.
I feel
the
like he's
unit.
like a really good, just body matchup to Zach LaVine. Like they are like kind of the same, like.
I'm excited to see Zach LaVine.
I know, dude. Like Zach LaVine was a guy that we were talking about a lot in the preseason, just because we knew his name was linked to trade rumors in the past with Gary, etc.
Off the market now, too good.
And then he became too good.
Well, he became too good, and the Bulls are in the mix for one of those playoff spots. And I don't think, knowing Arturas as we do, I don't think he's going to look to trade him for pieces if they're chasing a playoff spot.
It's funny you mentioned former Nuggets general manager Arturas Karnisovas.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of Karnisovas and Karnisovas, and I don't know what Karnisovas. I really don't know what the right answer.
AK is just the
AK
easier
is really,
option.
and it's actually more apt. Corey Westerland of 670 The Score reported.
Oh boy,
guys, I don't know this
old
guy,
Corey Westerland.
Yeah, old Corey. He says that according to Wendell Carter, Arturas is very. I actually quote, very, very hands-on.
Oh.
2 varies. Does this surprise you, Dev, knowing just being around Arturas, that he's a hands-on general manager?
I think with a team like the Bulls, yes, they got a lot of young guys over there that maybe need to be under the wing. There's not really a veteran presence over there. So, going to a person in your front office maybe is the right tactic. With the Nuggets, they had already seen success before he had got there, so I don't think that you would have to go to him, because what could he really tell you that you needed to learn? Also, he could be just talking about what he's seen throughout his times of his other teams, or even being in Denver. It's easy to talk to a player like Wendell Carter, who has aspirations to get somewhere like Nikola Jokic has. So I think that it's just young guys wanting to know the lay of the land.
So the full quote, he says they review film together, Arturas and Wendell Carter, which first of all I find, I know the front office coach player trio is a real weird one, because you don't want to step over this or that. So the fact that there's enough comfort for him, for players to go do that.
Do you think Tim Connolly watches film with any of the Denver Nuggets ever?
Probably, but
I don't know, but I'm guessing not. I don't know.
But maybe early on there was Will Barton, I know, went over to his house and stuff when he first got traded over here, but they made it sound like this was an everyday kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then he says players, this is the full report, Bulls players chat him up almost every day about basketball and life.
Just talking about life. Arturas just talking about life.
What about
love it, man.
Does Calvin Booth watch film?
Maybe.
Nuggets
I mean,
players?
maybe.
So what you just brought up was a good point. I think that the idea of him being new, so it's, maybe they did come to him because he is a new guy, and now they're going to learn through him. I don't think that it would catch on or anything like that, but like you said, Calvin Booth, maybe since he's new in the role, even though they still already knew him, hey, let's introduce you to how it is here and try to go through that way.
Yeah. Arturas is also it's his first year on the job, so he probably wants to kind of set a foundation of what is expected.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and what his guys can expect. I know he watches every one of his like coaches' press conferences.
I love that.
Like,
Because you see him on it or what?
I just know this about him. He watches every one of Billy Donovan's press conferences, and when he was in Denver, he watched every one of Michael Malone's press conferences.
I love that.
I just find that an interesting little note.
I miss Arturas. I really liked Arturas,
Yeah.
and I find myself rooting for him.
Yeah.
Like Chicago, it's glad that he's in the. I'm glad he's in the East. If he was like, the Jazz or something,
Dude,
it'd be like a bummer.
It is really easy to root for a guy that has like no real bearing on your team.
Sure.
So you can still be like, oh, old Arturas. But I know that if we went up against them in a playoff somehow, I guess it would be the finals, and I would be like,
well, of course, a final.
I'd be like, Arturas.
Arturas, he stole our draft pick. I know he did. He turncoat. Well, guys, today is the first game. What is the date today? Does anybody know? March 1st? Is it
Yeah.
March
It is
1st?
March
It's the
1st,
first.
yeah.
It's an easy date to remember. I don't know why I didn't. 2021 is the first time the Nuggets and Bulls have matched up since January 17th, 2019. Do you guys remember what life was back then? I was so young and naive. I had no idea.
I was able to just walk into anywhere I wanted to.
So true. There was no pandemic. There was no pandemic. I was like carefree about.
Yeah, I think I was really into like Nickelback back then.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
remember.
Nickelback was huge back then. No, but Harrison actually has compiled a list of actual truthful things that happened back in January
Yes.
2019.
Yes. In January 2019, Anthony Davis was still a Pelican.
A Pelican.
Actually. He was still a Pelican. He was actually fined $50K for publicly demanding a trade from the Pelicans in January of 2019.
Those are warm memories. I'm glad to relive them.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of good that did. Anthony Davis didn't even know he was fined $50,000.
Yeah, you
like,
put yourself
like
in a time machine.
$5.
You're like, I'd do it again.
and then when he
Do it
did
again.
get traded, he wore the "That's all, folks." That's how much that fine really got to him. It is funny to think back. Okay, what else?
Also in January of 2019, Kristaps Porzingis was still a Knick.
I remember those days.
He was still a Knick. He was traded to the Mavs in January of 2019. The Warriors set an NBA record for putting 51 points
Oh, man,
on a
some-
poor NBA team.
Some sad
In the
sack
first quarter.
team. What a loser
An NBA
group.
record for points.
Was it
in
the
first
the
quarter.
Hornets or what was it?
It was actually the Denver Nuggets.
Oh God!
Yeah.
No way!
The Denver Nuggets.
Why would you even bring that up?
So sometimes memories come up, and I'm like, oh man, and then like that, I'm like, I don't ever want to go to the ball arena again. Like, that was the worst day of my life. I don't want to do that.
You know what's funny is that was the game. It was the sport. That was the game before they played Chicago. So
Right.
they lost. They got blown out in historic fashion by the Warriors, and then went on to beat the Bulls.
This was a headline from the Washington Post. Bad news, rest of NBA. With DeMarcus Cousins, Warriors look unstoppable.
No, God. Oh, there it is.
I
Yeah.
forget, were they?
That was the key. They did actually get stopped.
They were
And
stoppable.
then the last one I got here, a certain Nugget made his debut in January 2019. Jared Vanderbilt made his NBA
really?
and
That
Nuggets
was
debut
them?
in
Wow.
January of 2019.
That one feels the weirdest.
I know. The other day when we were talking about top shots, like what you'd want, like I kind of want that like bounce pass he made.
Yeah.
Oh,
When
yeah.
he first
Yeah.
came on,
Not
and I
every-
was like, oh my god, that's the greatest.
Not every player
Yeah.
peaks in their first stint.
That was January 5th or January 25th, 2019.
The first 30 seconds of his career was
Or
like,
is
wow.
the highlight? We didn't know it was all downhill from there as far as
It's like, man, this is going to be such a great player. He's going to do some fun things here.
I was like, because he was such a mystery card, and you knew there was some passing, some rebounding. When he came out with a full court running, one hand just threads the needle, I was like, this is another Jokic.
Yeah.
We got two. It's like Ben Simmons.
We were tricked.
Yeah.
We were did tricked. I want to take you guys back to that game. The Nuggets improved to 30-14. It's kind of funny to think where the Nuggets roster is now, and 30-14 2 seasons ago. But Malik Beasley, a plus 26 in that game, guys. A plus 26. Malik Beasley was 5 of 7 from the field. You know, Murray, Jokic, Millsap, the usuals. Torrey Craig in the starting lineup. Pretty decent game for Trey Lyles.
12 points, if I remember correctly.
12 points. He was a plus 3. Trey Lyles.
That game
a
had like
corner.
7 guys in double digits, right?
Yeah.
It did have a lot,
Yeah.
Wancho was right there. He had 9 points. Miss him. Shouts to Wancho. And then, Tyler Lydon, not such a good game from him. He went 0 for 4.
I would
but
say it's a standard game from him.
that actually was a standard
might have
game.
been a high point for him.
So Tyler Lydon gets 4 minutes and 24 seconds. He gets 0 for 4 and 0 stats. Just nothing. And then, but Brandon Goodwin, only 0 for 1. He did get 3 of 4 from the free throw line and 1 assist. So
That's
he really
fun-
outshined Tyler
That's really
Lydon.
funny. Greg Whittington came in and this last game and put up the exact same stat line as Tyler Lydon, but I could not be more excited.
It's all about the smile, man. You gotta have a great smile. All right, we can move on now, guys. The feast de resistance, as they say in France. That's how they say it.
hungry.
I speak a little French here. The feast de resistance is Michael Porter Jr. Is he a power forward? Now, the reason I bring this up, Nuggets are without, as you reported here, Harrison, without Paul Millsap or JaMychal Green. We've got an experiment with Michael Porter at power forward. He's starting, obviously, tonight. And here's some numbers for you. 210 minutes he has played alongside Jokic and Murray with one of Paul Millsap or JaMychal Green, which means basically at small forward. Nuggets have a 0.9 net rating in those minutes. So about even, +1. He has now played almost the same amount of minutes, 154 with Murray and Jokic, but no Millsap or JaMychal Green. And the Nuggets have a +20 net rating. Now, who you play, I mean, some of these against bad Oklahoma City, there's a lot, got boosted up a lot there. But, at least it is something to say. Harrison, what do you think you've seen out of him as a power forward over these last few games? And do you think that might be where he belongs on this team?
I mean, offensively, I feel like the Nuggets offense levels up when he's at the 4.
No question.
Because that means you're taking, if the Nuggets are fully healthy, like a Paul Millsap or JaMychal Green off the floor, putting him there and putting another playmaking guard on the court with him and Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. So I think it levels the Nuggets offense up. Defensively is probably going to define just if he can be a long-term 4. Because I think individually, guarding opposing power forwards, like in a one-on-one type of scenario, that's going to be easier for him than maybe guarding like high-scoring 3s.
Oh, yeah,
but from a team defensive perspective, you've got to deal with a lot of stuff on the backside of the defense as a help defender, as a power forward. You've got to be really good, like defending in the pick and roll too, a roll man, which I don't know if he has a ton of experience there. So that's probably where the learning curve I think will be for him defensively. Offensively, the Nuggets are going to crush everybody with him at the 4, I think.
So what's interesting is Nuggets with the good lineup with him at power forward, 125.6 offensive rating, 105 defensive rating. Both of those numbers are great.
That's great.
That's a great defensive rating. That's a historic offensive rating. What do you think, Dev? Power forward?
I always learn that you are what you can guard. And he has a really difficult times with the wings. They're just way more skilled. They provide spacing and they have backdoor cuts and things that he just could get hit off on. And then also on the opposite side, like Harrison said, taking him at the 4 means no Millsap or no JaMychal, but it still gives everyone else around him the ability to space the floor and shoot and do everything else. So I think that it's better for him at the 4 position as far as giving him the freedom to do what he wants and being at the spots that he wants to be at. So I think that him being at the 4 is just a lot better for him as a comfort level, and we know that him being comfortable is the best thing for him.
Yeah. And also, as I'm thinking about it, offensively, the 3 is more apt and more likely to put the ball on the floor. And that's not Michael Porter Jr.'s strength, right? You want him to be in places where people are looking to feed him in his spots, right? And he's not, up 3's kind of overarchingly now in this league, right? Are guys that break you down off the dribble, like LeBron, Kawhi, all these major stars in the NBA are almost always 3s. So I'm on board. Power forward it is.
Yeah. I do think his handle is going to come around over time, but it's pretty rough at the moment. Another thing I was thinking about is it's not just him. Jamal Murray has also gotten off. Now, Jamal Murray got off even a little bit before the switch. I think it has more to do with Murray than anything else. But it should be said that he has gotten going now in 3 straight games with more spacing. You're talking about 4 perimeter players, all mobile.
A lot of minutes with Monte and Campazzo,
right,
and Murray, and kind of that starting group.
I think my take on this is, I think that Jokic is a point center. He's like a 1-5. I feel like Murray is a 1-2. He's in between, and I feel like Michael Porter is a 3-4.
I think we have no guys that have a standard position.
They don't.
I love it.
PJ Dozier, not a point guard. He's a 1-2
needs positions anymore?
No, I think PJ is a 2-3. He could be a 3. I think he's a 1-2 though, because I think PJ Dozier is a little bit of this too. He's not a shooting guard because he didn't shoot, but he could be a point guard. So I feel like to kind of bring this full circle, this kind of brings us in, I guess, to what really excites me about these next 3 games. I think Zeke Nnaji is a 3-4.
Yeah.
I think we thought he might be a 4-5. I think he's a 3-4.
Yeah.
And I think he might be a 3-4 in very similar ways to what Jeremy Grant was. He can shoot the ball. Yeah. He can guard the perimeter. I mean, he's bigger, so you don't think of him like Jeremy Grant was so long, like you assumed he was as mobile as he was. Zeke, maybe don't assume he's as mobile as he is, but he's very mobile. He's like really laterally quick.
Yeah.
And low usage, like he's not doing anything he's not supposed to. Jeremy Grant, when he was here, I guess he didn't really like that, turns out, but he accepted it.
Wanted more usage, as it turned out.
Yeah, he really wanted
I've heard
it.
He wanted an expanded role.
They did want an expanded role. But I do wonder if there's something to, look, Zeke Nnaji is not great at everything you need to be great at to be a 3 or a 4. But he's really good at some of the things that it takes to be a 3 or a 4. And I think Michael Porter's the same way, and you combine them, it works. So I'm hopeful we get a lot of Nnaji, Porter, Jokic minutes.
Yeah. Nnaji just looks more and more like Jeremy Grant every game, it seems like. And Grant, I think maybe one separator in his offensive game at this point was he obviously had more of like an off-the-dribble game than Nnaji does. We always joke that Jeremy Grant just had one move. But, that move was effective at times. Yeah. Zeke doesn't have that yet, but, I mean, he's a rookie.
He might, honestly. Like, he's not trying anything, and that's why I love that about him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
he might have a bag, and we just don't know because he's like, it's not my job to have a bag
I don't think he does, but, hey, he's half a season into his rookie year. He's not supposed to yet.
Maybe he's looking for an expanded role.
Shut up. But, no, he reminds you so much of Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
The defensive on-ball versatility, and he is probably already better than Jeremy Grant was as a help side guy. Zeke is so good as a help side defender. So, the Nuggets found another Jeremy Grant. What do you know?
Just reach into a bag, pull out yet another Jeremy Grant. Can you believe
It'd be
it?
awesome if they had two of them. Yeah. All right, can we? Let's everybody's favorite part of the show. Let's make some money. Let's open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Let's log in by using our face. You guys do that where you just look at it and then it's like, Adam, you're back.
Can I log in using your face?
You have to log in after opening the app, after depositing money.
You really have to
log
in a lot.
It's like a 5-step verification process.
It really is. It's tough. But all right, let's get into this. So Eric, why don't you take it away?
So as I'm looking here, our beloved Denver Nuggets favored by 4.5 points on the road in Chicago, the Windy City. It feels
it's a great preview. Great.
I don't know. What do you think? Like, that feels. I guess it probably feels right. Like, I don't know about you guys. I fully expect them to win this game.
The Bulls.
We got a quick super chat real quick. 223. MPJ's first start at power forward.
Oh, I like where your head's at, Scott.
Man,
see,
bookmark that.
I don't know.
Anointing something as a new December 5th. That's like a very high bar.
That's true.
I'm going to call 223 the day of the carpenter from here on out.
To your point, the Bulls are just like the definition of an average team.
Yeah,
they're so average, except for Zach LaVine, who's really good,
who's above average, who's extraordinary.
Bulls are 15 and 17, 15th best offense, 20th best defense. They're just so average.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I expect the night. Like, if I didn't declare every night that we do this that I don't bet point totals, I would bet that point total.
So you're feeling good about it,
dude? I'm feeling good about the Nuggets in general. I know that we just beat up on a very hapless opponent
and lost 3 more players.
But the only player that we lost that was really going to get any kind of minutes was Facu, and he's
replaced by Dozier.
He's replaced by Dozier,
similar,
and
it
also means that Monte can like sort of settle in even more so with some point guard minutes. I just feel like the Denver Nuggets are trending in such an upward trajectory. If you look at like a lot of the pieces, like just seeing the big three come together in the way that they did, like, I mean, obviously you don't pencil it in for that to just be the standard from here going forward, but like we saw it another game before that, and like that's how things start. Like they just one foot in front of the next. One day they're gonna figure it out, and that day may have already happened. So I'm feeling good.
I might be out of commission the rest of the show.
You're just
somebody played
right
Numa Tool, Numa, and it's like,
Jesus,
it's too good, man.
Did you know
in the zone?
Did you realize what a tool Adam is, everybody? Let's look at the points.
It's one of my favorite.
I'll tell you what scares me about this game though is like the Nuggets have followed up good wins with bad losses a lot this year. I feel like
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we never feel good about the team.
Denver beats
2 games in a
Portland,
row.
then loses to Washington.
Like
The Nuggets beat the Lakers and then lose to Boston.
Don't get sucked
handily.
into the windy sorrows.
I'm just
over
trying to
there.
offer a tempered take right here, and that's all I'm trying to do.
well, to your point though, Zach LaVine's lightning quick. This is what Denver struggles with. His
Yeah, it's
lightning
true.
quick guards. You got Kobe White's lightning quick. You know,
That's fine. We'll just put in oh no.
yeah, you really. I'm telling you, wait till you get a look at Archie Diacono's top knot tonight. You're gonna really. You might have to rescind your worst hair take.
If Ryan Arcidiacono was on the Nuggets, he would probably average 30 minutes a game.
I'm telling you though, that, after I saw the Dallas Shag last time,
I
from
love
Kenrich
it.
Williams,
I get to 10 out of 10.
I was
for me.
very upset that I'd already awarded worst hair of the year. But then I did remember that, again, as I mentioned in the post, everyone else, any other would-be challengers is really going up against MJ in his prime here because Trae Young has the worst hair
That
on
is
earth.
true. There was no contest. We get into points tonight, guys. Right off the top, is this a Jokic game, a Murray game, a Michael Porter game?
All games are now Murray games.
Is this true? Are you feeling
I
this?
mean, I think so.
You ride the hot
I
hand?
do think that you ride the hot hand, but I think that this is a Jokic game just because he's going against Wendell Carter Jr. Like, who's going to be able to slow him down or stop him in any type of way?
27 and a half.
27 and a half is
for
just
Jokic
is so
points.
tall. Like a Jokic game to me is now a 24-point game.
Yeah. Is it points, rebounds, and assists? 45 and a
might
half
be.
for
But
him?
But if you see it, he's at 7.5 assists. That's the lock of the game. It's 7.5 assists.
What are they thinking? They're going to guard him straight? Come on, you're
Good
right. You know
call,
what? That is a
Dev.
lock. I'm putting two. The odds aren't
Nice
great.
call.
I'm going to put double
Ooh.
units on.
I'll tell you the other lock of the game.
You got one for me?
DraftKings, for some reason,
I love
realized their mistake in judging Jamal Murray last game, upped his 3-point totals to 3.5, which he hit. Went over anyway.
Right.
Back down to 2.5.
What?
That's right. But the juice ain't great. It's minus 152. But if you want free money, that you push this button and then free money goes in.
Yeah, that's you know what, I'm gonna do
MPJ
that.
still plus money for over 2.5 threes.
Man, he just makes them,
His
doesn't he?
points, rebounds, and assists is at 24.5 as well.
I'm taking that one. That's what I'm doing.
And then on the flip side,
I'm buying Michael Porter, man. I'm buying
Me
Michael
too.
Porter as like,
all of the big
Michael
three.
Porter at the 4 is a bucket machine.
and also I just feel like I know I mean like he could ruin the good faith here, but I really do feel like he's doing the dirty work, and that's where everything else comes from.
Yep.
I like
And
it.
he-
I
he
just took
gets
it.
his
I took it,
rebounds every
Dev. You
single
talked me
time.
into it.
Yep. So I like that one. And on the flip side, because I always have to go the opposite team on one.
Oh, I hate this.
I go points, rebounds, and assist for Kobe White. I think that's
Really?
yeah,
He's
hold
the
on.
one that goes off?
24.5.
We've not brought this up. You made me deliver
That's right.
the opposite team
You did do this.
SGA
You did do this.
points, rebounds, and assists.
Wow.
I took the bullet. What happens? No one hits their point
That's
totals.
a good point.
On OKC.
Was that
and
you that
where's
was texting, or was that
Where's
somebody else?
Teflon
Somebody else,
Dev?
Who? That was not me. If I get on this show here and I give it to you guys, then you can believe it. He has no proof that anything like that happened. So that's wild that he would say something like that. You heard my locks for tonight.
You have a sneaky bet you really love here?
I'm thinking about riding Will Barton first basket of the game. Two
Whoa.
nights in a row.
Wow.
2 games in a row.
They found him by accident, man.
Hey!
It's a Jokic night.
Yeah, this is a Jokic's for. I'm with Dev on this
Well,
one.
it's only plus 430.
You know what?
It's not bad, though. I mean,
I'm also feel this new style of basketball, this new brand of basketball. You know what I like it for? Jokic triple doubles, baby.
TDs?
I'm doing triple double and point
JTDs?
rebounds, assists. The odds are still good. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. All right, well, that will do it then for today's show, guys. Thanks for riding with us. We're going to be back in the post-game lounge.
One way to know that the show is over is that you can't see us anymore. You can hear us.
Well, maybe they could hear us, but...
You can hear us. You can't see us. We're waving goodbye to you. Dev
Alrighty.
is doing something very
Oh, my God,
inappropriate.
Dev!
Hey.
What are you doing?